200,000 share volume. Look at the intraday chart, Care Bear, right? This thing moves like 2 pennies. See, it looks like it's up 5%, but yeah, like it moved like a couple pennies. You know what I mean? And so when you have something like that, it's just not going to be, it's not going to be hot enough. You know, that's where we've got to go with this. So, you know, I'd probably stay off that one for now. Morning, people. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the big show. Today, I'm your host, Kunal this side. All right, cool. Let's take a look at the general market. So, you know, we had a little bit of a, we're having a week open today, which is actually good. So we got a little bit of weakness over there. You get down about 1 point on the market. That's good. You know, we're okay. I'd rather have in a bull market, right, a little bit of a weak open, because the stocks on your watch list will open red and you can go red to green on them. So that's where things are going to be always a little bit dicey, and just kind of, I like this type of open. We're getting slight weakness. Yesterday was a little bit of a choppy day. So if you think about like the overall market, you know, you had like this kind of like it gapped up, which took all the range out of it, and then it flushed back down. And so, you know, kind of things kind of popped back, and then things were just shredding around. So that's okay. There's more than enough plays. And so I like this type of open. My favorites for today, Porker. Porker had a nice breakout yesterday. You could see this thing trended all day too, right? So we had like an ORB here and a really like a nice flag pattern end of day. When you have a pattern that kind of trends up like that, and you can see its overall daily structure is really nice, that's going to be something that's good. So like, you know, you can see this thing's already kind of moving up a little bit strong. We'll watch this thing for an ORB today. Or if it pops up at the open and you see like that deep pullback to the 9, we'll watch this thing for a little bit of some rounding action. I'm liking AMD still for a second day. It was up 9% yesterday. You're opening up decent today on this thing. It's pre-market trading's been a little bit wild, but overall, if it's got even a dollar range pre-market up and down, that's pretty good for this stock. It's been just on a tear. I think this one, we'll watch this thing if it ORBs or its float is a little bit big. So when we think about like stuff like an ORB type trade, we've got to always kind of be mindful like of the float of the stock. You know, something like this one, like AMD, almost always like on gaps, it'll pull back to the 9 and it'll start to round out, and then it'll make a go out of it. This thing's got just a nice huge range to it with all the volume that's been coming in. No excuse to miss these though, right? This is, guys, this is just money on the table to be kind of trading some of these hot momentum names these days. Roku had the same kind of deal. You know, now we've had 3 up days on this one though. So I know a lot of people ask about this one. The stochastics are at 92 on this bad boy. So we're getting like a little bit overbought. I would probably stay away from this one on strength today, because, you know, we're working on day 4. Its volume was pushing yesterday, but I typically don't like to kind of hit those things on day 4s. That's just, you know, nature of the beast. This CVNA might be hot today. You know, yesterday it popped up, came back, and really had a little bit of a run, up 11%. It's opening up okay today, slightly green, but I do think this one's probably got one more day in it. And I definitely keep an eye on this Medi-Pedi. Whatever this thing is, MedPace, Medi-Pedis. You got a flat top breakout over there. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests at the breakout spot. The liquidity on this is going to be a little bit less, so that I like. I usually like kind of 1 million or more. It's a little bit less than that, but nothing's ever right on the dot. You can see this thing popped up at the open, pulled back to the 9, and really had a go at it. You even got a VWAP trade out of it later. So its range is really good. When you've got a good range like that, Even if the volume's a little bit less, what you have to do is just take a little bit less shares, right? So you have a little bit less shares of something. So like say normally, so this one doesn't have the best liquidity. Say normally I would trade 1,000 shares of this. Well, you know, I would maybe do 500 shares of this versus like a Roku, which has 12 million shares in volume, right? So you want to just trade it a little bit less. When you trade something that's got a little bit less volume and you trade too much size on it, there's usually a spread. And then what happens is when the bottom drops off a little bit or it just ticks down, the spread widens and then you get a little bit nervous that you're going to take a big loss. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're really stuck in kind of a thing where you're holding on too long. There's some small caps that are really popping today. Definitely keep this SSC on the list. You're starting to see this thing pop. Remember, guys, just because something's popping like this doesn't mean that, you know, you buy it at the open, right? Wait for a pattern. So what do? Right? This is a small cap stock, 34 million shares in float. So what we want to see, we want to see that gap up. We want to see minimum 3 sideways candles before you enter, right? If you enter the first candle, this thing can just come dumping back down, right? If you enter first candle, they come dumping back down. So we need to always remember, you've got to wait for a pattern. So you've got the spike up, and then you need to see that consolidation at the open, especially for small caps, because, you know, you could buy this thing, it's up, you know, 30%. You could buy a couple thousand shares, this thing at $6 or something. Next thing you know, you turn your head, right? It's at 550. So you got to definitely wait for that consolidation before you hit it. I'd watch and see. Make sure it's got to hold over this high. If it stays under this high, it may be a double top. So we don't want to be playing around with that thing. So always, it's got to stay above the old high. When we think about gapper trades, the best gappers are going to be the ones that are busting over highs, right? If you gap into like a resistance level, then what's going to happen is, right, it'll get shorted. And so we've got to have this thing bust over this level here, and it's got to hold at the open. So, you know, if like this thing pulls back at the open to say 520, we're not taking that trade, right? We're only taking a trade if it holds over that level. So just always a caveat to when you're looking to trade, momentum plays, right? Like, do I enter this or not? And then what patterns do I enter it on, right? And there's only a handful that we're doing. The CDMO's kind of busting out today too. I've never even heard of this damn thing, so, you know, I'll have to watch this thing a little bit, but it's got an okay range on it. You're starting to see this thing kind of trend out on this. I'd keep an eye on this at the open for an ORB or some type of quick pullback buy. This USAT's getting shredded. Who knows what's going on with this thing, but you're breaking under that 200 SMA, which is really important. It hasn't been under the 200 SMA in over a year. Hey, Danny, how you doing, buddy? So that'll be something we keep on to watch. And then this Sono is probably my top watch for the day. You know, this thing, as long as it holds under this 18, I think we're good on this thing. You're already starting to see this thing shred down. The one thing with Sono is going to be it's down 17%. So the SSR is on this thing, right? When the SSR is on, you cannot short it on the bid, meaning if you chase it down on the short, it's not going, you know, it may grind sideways and then just squeeze back up because nobody can short it on the bid. So the SSR plays, and the SSR triggers when you're doing what? When you're down more than 10% on a particular stock in the morning, right? So the SSR is going to be on this one. So don't short it like right on the bid. Like let it pop up a little bit and then wait for the pattern. So usually something like this, I like to do a quick pullback setup, right? Which means let it pop down, pop up into the 9 EMA, and then it's got to hold there. Let it curl a little bit, right? Little curls for the girls, and then come back down, and you're good to go. And then add this Yum C to the list too. This one's already, I think these guys make the Taco Bell of China. Could you imagine what that fucking means, right? What are they putting in that Taco Bell? Good Lord, right? So we got to short this thing anyways. Right now, the Trumpster's going to take out everybody in China, okay? Because they're got a very big wall, but I'm going to build even a bigger wall. The Great Wall of China is nothing, okay? When I build my Great Wall of Mexico, you guys will see what a great wall is supposed to be. So we short this thing right now. So we'll take this one down too, and we should be good to go. So Porker, CVNA, AMD, Medi Petty, the pod stocks. I know everybody always want to trade them. I'm starting to feel like we're getting some topping patterns on these. If you look at the candles, the closes, when you start to see these kind of tails on stocks, see these are like when you remember see like IQ or Huya, like when they topped out, you started to see the volatility really increase, but the closes were really weak. Like see this kind of like reverse candle over here, so it'd be like a reverse hammer, dammer. I don't even know anything about candle patterns, but reverse, it's a reversal of fucking something, right? When they got the tails on them, that indicates there's a lot of selling on them. So, you know, all these gaps may just be, you know, at this point, liquidity events, meaning these gaps may get sold off. So watch those candles. If you start to reverse over, you know, we'll have to find some shorts on this thing. Hey, Mr. Justin, what's up, baby? Guys, man, it's been a pleasure. What are your favorites? Guys, give me your favorites. What do we got here? Hugh J? What else? Somebody give me a heater. Yeah, I like the Sono. I like the Sono, Lindsay. That's for sure. We definitely keep an eyeball on this bad boy. What else? What else? What else? Mitch and Medi Petty. Good, TJ. Good, 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 good. Anthony, I could. You very well. CVNA, I like it, AR. This one, too, has got fantastic range on it, right? When you got something that could go from, you know, 61 to 69, that's awesome. Hey, Anthony, I think, yeah, Medi Petty's going to be good, too. Good. So you guys are watching the right stuff. CTRL, let me look. Ooh, this one, man, it's up already 3 days in a row. You know, it could top out at 37. So definitely, definitely probably one that we got to be more careful of. Man, this Sono, we gotta let this thing pop, and then we're gonna take this thing down. Good, 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 good. As always, so yesterday was pretty solid. Well, we finished up like $1,500 or something like that. I goofed up a little bit at the open, but otherwise the trades were pretty good. So we got to just kind of keep things going. This has been one of the easiest trading markets I've seen in quite some time. So you got to definitely milk it while it's there. But, you know, it's all there, buddies. I shall see everybody when I see everybody. Peace.